Apologize.
All right.
Good morning,
Good morning.
Finance Director Hunt.
Thank you. So I want to start, I'm not sure if I need to give this to you, but this is a written in ballot for the budget committee from the town of Unity.
Oh, okay.
Do you want that?
First of all, I didn't think Unity had to vote because there's filling a spot that still had time left on it.
Right.
So, I mean, that's fine. You can give it to us, but I don't
Okay.
believe that they actually have to.
I have them do it.
Oh, okay, okay,
So that you have the paper documents.
okay.
Second, we received a workers' comp reimbursement.
Oh, good.
In the amount of $4,563. And those are the MMA member dividends.
Excellent.
Do you want to
Excellent.
see the letter?
Sure.
Just the numbers that I'm interested in.
Do
Yeah,
you want the number? Okay.
yeah, I want to say it, but I think, Betty, help me out here. Didn't Annette have to do a bunch of personnel studies or whatever for workman's comp to get us a discount? I think there's different tiers of it.
I don't.
Workman's comp, dividend was numbers. Oh, that's really cool. Huh,
Well, we gladly take it.
And I think this is something that's done every year because I'm familiar with it from the town level too.
Right.
oh,
And they look at what your total salary is, anticipated amount, and if you don't go over that, I believe you get a reimbursement from that.
that's really cool.
And I could be wrong on that, but that's generally
Yeah.
how I
Oh,
understand.
no, that's
that.
really cool. Thank you. Good, good.
We-
I'm gonna put it right here. Susan.
Thank you, Betty. We have not received any other funds from any towns as of today. I noticed that notices typically go out in September as a reminder. I will be sending those on. That is on my radar to do.
Okay.
A lot
Um,
of the towns, have it 6 months, 6 months. So October kind of becomes the time for paying. And so, September is a good reminder for that time. Okay.
Our TAN, our tax anticipation note, as you know, we took out 5.5 million. We currently have $191,000 available. I did not transfer any funds over for this warrant as of yet.
Mhm.
There is enough in our general checking account to cover the county bills. I will have to transfer some to MRC to cover MRC. And then year-to-date interest earned from First National has been $67,342.28.
So see, now we're going down.
Oh, yeah.
because we're spending money.
Use
It's
the
like,
money, yeah.
doggone it, those days of 116, 120.
So I will start with our jail bills. And our payroll for jail for this warrant was $46,074.70. Then our accounts payable was $78,945.42 for a total of $125,020.12.
Motion,
I will second that motion.
all in favor?
That's right, you sign on your line. You like the way she's setting the warrants up, but.
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
yeah,
You usually have them change every
they
month.
change them and it was like, oh my goodness, where do you sign? Awesome. Okay, and that's yours.
The county payroll was $159,890.17. The accounts payable was $106,740 601.90 for a grand total of $266,492.07.
So moved.
Second,
Favor?
excellent.
Thank you. And unless you have any other questions, I'm all set.
I'm gonna make a motion to accept the finance, finance, report.
I will second.
All in favor?
Mhm. And at this time, I will make a motion to go into executive session title 14056A. We are back in session. I made a motion to come out of executive session. Commissioner Johnson seconded it.
And we're waiting for Annette.
Yep. She's holding us up. Dang it.
Annette, are you out there somewhere?
I am coming.
On my way.
On my way.
Good morning.
Good morning. Happy Thursday.
Yes,
Yeah. Happy Thursday.
So I'm gonna be very quick. I only have a couple of talking points. The first is just your approval to process the second and final sign-on bonus to Walter Corey. He is due $7,500. He was hired a year ago.
that's the sheriff's department,
Yeah, I'm
right?
sorry, yes,
Yeah,
Sheriff's
okay.
Department.
So,
Yes.
so noted.
Thank you so much. And yeah, his date of hire was June 16th. So we're a little behind on him. And the second,
Now, were we able to recover that sign-on bonus because I believe he's MDEA, correct?
oh yes, that's a good question, Amy. I don't know that. I've been researching where to pay sign-on bonuses out of. Like, for example, does it come out of one of our
Separate
reserve
account
accounts?
or one of
Yeah,
those? Yeah.
because I see something in the history of 22 that indicated that it is coming out of one of our reserve accounts.
But I just happen to think of that, like
That's a
he is an
good
MDEA, so are we able to recover that out of there? Probably not.
Yeah,
That's a state entity.
Yeah,
I doubt we will be able to
Yeah.
just because I see the state contract came back specifically with a salary schedule. And
Yeah.
that's what they address.
Yeah, okay.
But I will, so that's a great segue to, I am researching where to post and retrieve funding for those sign-on bonuses for the sheriff's office and the comm center.
And the jail.
Yeah, even, I mean, that's what triggered it. I was looking up someone and I see that something was posted in the payroll company, in the payroll system through one of our reserve accounts. So I thought, ooh, question with Carrie, and if so, then that means we can transfer a lot of this for 23,
Yeah.
the
to
sign-up
recover.
bonuses to
Yeah.
recover the direct hit that's going. So
Oh,
I'm
that would be
writing
cool.
that out. Okay, the other is, with it being budget season for all the departments, I'm finding history here that my predecessor had started the process to have an HR budget of their own.
Mhm.
And I'd like to ask that we make a motion and approve HR to pull out of the commissioner's budget of relevant line items and create a budget for them, for the HR department, which currently would definitely include one full-time, one part-time for salary.
Like you and Susan,
For Susan.
kind of
yeah,
like the finance department has its own.
Correct,
Oh.
and I know you've pulled out IT on some of their, and has a budget, so I think HR is the only last department that you've established as a department that doesn't have a budget.
And it does get convoluted.
And
When, if you were to do that, would you also figure like the postage meter? I know we share that. I know it gets confusing at this point. Or I found it to be confusing.
But everybody uses it.
Well, yeah,
Yes,
well,
yes,
especially
yes.
like all of the Indeed, that foolish Indeed. Advertising for personnel. I noticed it.
Professional services is another one, your department
Yeah,
gets
it
hit
gets-
pretty hard.
It gets taken from, I don't have a problem with it. I know Kelly was working on one and she just never got a chance to finish it.
So that was the only thing is then just because I wanted to open up the conversation about the professional services that we're getting charged from the sheriff's department right now is a lot because they're paying for background checks at $350 per application. And if they move them forward in the process, and then they're paying for, if they're uncertified, a psychological and a polygraph. So those are.
And those
getting
come out of
paid.
the commissioner's professional services?
Correct.
Has it always?
That's my understanding. That's my understanding.
They don't have a line for that. That's interesting.
So it's either increasing that as in the future.
So you're thinking of having that in HR?
Yes, because that is getting hit to specifically HR, like Commissioner Fowler was saying, Indeed is charged to my account, my
Hmm.
credit card. Right now, I have it set up for the credit card to pay. And
So a background check would be on a potential employee and therefore, what was that? And therefore that would end up going back. So yeah, that an amount of that should, where does, and this is another question for another day. I'm sorry, I'm getting distracted.
So I'm just, just wanted to plan, open it up for discussion and we definitely can have further discussion and vote on it for our next meeting. I think it's September 7th, but I just wanted to move forward with that as a discussion. And if not, I'm totally fine, but it does appear that my predecessor had talked about and did some research on that.
Well, it probably is a good thing to have it out of the commissioners. And have it, this is an expense for this department.
But especially where there's a lot of departments that utilize a particular line in an area that goes back, because it could easily go, because it goes 10, 10, 10, 10, 15, 10, 20, it's all on fives.
Right.
So it would be 1040. And then it starts at 1065 again. I take no issue with it. I think it would be cleaner and easier to follow, but
Well, yeah, I do too. I mean, it says what it is. I mean, with the commissioners, sometimes you look at this and you say, what do we spend it for?
Right.
yeah,
That was my thought, Commissioner Johnson, when I look at, say, advertising for personnel, what does that encompass? And it would be so clear if it was separated, or if
Right,
it's
yeah.
clear it's HR, advertising, job postings
Right.
and whatnot.
Yeah.
And same thing with professional services. Anytime we hire an attorney, it could be for any number of reasons, not just employment
oh,
related.
yeah.
So if you want to delineate between that, or I'm happy to, because I originally started doing that, was just keeping copies of all the invoices that were given to me saying I needed to code them.
Mhm.
Because it's an expense to my department. I was just keeping in an Excel sheet. So next year at budget time, of course, a full year, I'd have a better idea what is getting charged to HR department.
So you're not thinking of this for this year?
I am thinking of it this year.
Okay.
Why I say that is because
You
Jerry
probably
and
have to
I-
be
yeah.
revised in the following year.
Yes.
Because you know more what needs to go on.
Right. And plus, right now, we're learning the NDS budget module in, so it would be perfect timing. We
which
set it
Kelly
under
said
training.
she liked better than the trio budgeting line. That is the one thing, and she didn't say it this morning, I'm a little disappointed, but she was busy, but she did say that she liked NDS's budgeting better than the trio budgeting that she
The
had been
trio,
familiar
I
with.
think it's so difficult.
I think both of them. I think both of them.
So I just wanted to start talking about that. It's perfect timing to break it off now when we're establishing budgets.
I'd like to make a motion that we have it set up so that the
Create an
has-
HR budget
Budget.
department, and it would be number 1040 if you look in our book.
Okay.
I'll
1040.
second that.
All in favor?
Thank you so much. I will start working.
But as
on
I
it.
said, there's like a postage line, there's like water line, there's stuff like that. I mean, we'll help you, but
Yeah, telephone line,
Yeah.
and then that was the other thing I wanted to talk to you about. You've issued me, which I'm very pleased you are, but if, from my past experience, I would not have a desk phone for voice over IP. So right now I feel like you're paying twice for a phone when I can just use the cell phone as my primary and only contact, instead of, I don't know how the phones are charged. But I'm thinking and would like to propose the idea to research that. And if you are paying for me to have the cell phone, which I know you are, but what the cost is for my desk phone, and perhaps eliminate the desk phone.
I am gonna say, I don't think we should eliminate the desk phone.
Okay, I mean,
Only because a lot of people, and it just bothers me if you're strapped. Do you have a county cell phone?
yes, I do.
I think it should be both.
I have to say, I agree. I appreciate you trying to save money, but in the next breath, when you're not here, remember, we learned once Karen was
Oh,
gone,
that's a good point.
no one person should be God. And if somebody else has to sit in for you because you're on vacation, a month-long cruise or something like that,
Oh,
I think, but you're not gonna take a month-long cruise. We won't approve it. But, you know,
oh, good point on that.
You know what I
was
mean?
just thinking of, oh geez, you know, you take, even at $45 a desk, I'm just assuming, times 12.
I think Jason got the price down to like 25, but I could be wrong there, but even
Yeah.
so.
But I was just thinking like, is it a yearly cost as I go down through some of the line items?
Yeah.
What does it cost you to keep HR?
And then you sent us some figures this morning,
Yeah,
you're on a rough draft. I'd like those figures to stay in-house
oh, yes, I
until
did.
we say otherwise.
Mm.
I don't think we have to answer to anybody for anything right at the moment. And we've got some figuring out to do, so we'll have some conversations. And we have to have a meeting with Mike and talk about some things, but you know, what I'm hitting on is part-time and full-time. So I look at this Knox thing coming up as like kind of a, well, I look at it.
Yeah.
I was gonna say,
Yeah.
maybe, well, that'll be
Yeah.
executive session.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, absolutely. I just wanted to follow through with that.
If
Just
you
in
could print
case.
that off, I'd love to see it like
Oh,
on
I
a piece
did.
of paper. I
Yeah.
bet those guys would
Yeah.
too, but that's for later on.
Yeah, okay, good. No, I got your email this
Yeah,
morning.
we'll have some more talks down the road,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, no, all right, excellent. That's it for me.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's a good sign, right? We're fully staffed. Pretty much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Jason, you're in the house?
I know he's here. He scared me like 3 times. I came into the other office earlier and all of a sudden you're here.
Trying
It's
not
like,
to scare you.
you're like Casper.
I suppose. At least I'm a friendly ghost.
I loved Casper. What about happened to Casper? You don't hear about him anymore.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
So been setting up new hires up at the sheriff's office as well as finishing up new hires down at the comm center. Sent you all off an email with a link to the prototype of the new website design. So you can look it over and give your feedback on that, which I would appreciate.
You did when?
Just during the meeting.
Oh,
So-
Oh, okay.
I was gonna say, phew,
I
I'm
see it.
sorry.
Just during the meeting, so been also working on some clarifications on where some circuits are located on the consolidated bills to get that clarification for our new finance director, so we can make sure everything is broken out correctly and things like that.
Jason, just to stop you right in your tracks there while I'm thinking of it.
HR.
I know that you and Mike discovered up at the comm center, there was like 4 lines that we've been paying for that
Yes, yep,
3 that don't even,
Yeah.
they're dead.
yep.
Have you ever had time or an opportunity, or is this something that you could task Ray with, like doing a phone line audit? I
Yes,
know it sounds nuts, but all of a sudden I find myself going, oh my goodness, what if there's more?
yes, we are. That is on my list of things to do, and we'll try to get that done, started. Unfortunately, the list of things that I'm working on has rapidly become saturated by
No, and that's why I keep
things-
throwing Ray under the bus.
things-
too. It's like,
things starting with the letters Knox.
Yeah.
But
geez,
Yeah.
that's why I'm saying,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
let's
So
utilize Ray, he's awesome.
yes, and I will formally apologize to yourselves and any departments that have seen their requests kind of hopefully not ignored, but taken a back seat right now, just because I feel like Knox has become a priority and unfortunately having to take priority due to timelines. So, but yes, yeah, we are looking
Again,
into that as well.
As I say,
So-
Jason, I told you the other day, let's utilize him as much.
Yeah,
as
we are.
can.
Yeah, and I'm trying to do that, but yeah, I do understand that some things have gone unaddressed.
They'll get over it.
Yes, so anyway, and it's not by choice. I do promise that. Yeah, speaking of Knox, we have been taking, unfortunately, this week has been a lot of meetings concerning Knox and setups for Knox remote access in case things do happen come Monday or Tuesday, is my understanding at this point. So it's kind of been a lot of preparing just in case. I guess I feel like we should be prepared. I still don't know what's going on. I don't know if decisions have been made, but on my point of view, I'm trying to prepare just in case because we can't be waiting for the last minute on our end. There's that. We did have a meeting with Motorola yesterday on the mobile software. We had folks from Belfast, the sheriff's office, the comm center. Some folks were supposed to come down from Bangor. They didn't show up.
They did come.
No, we had some folks from Stockton Springs. And that was it. But we also did record the presentation so we could give it to some folks from Searsport if they wanted to see it.
So Bangor didn't show up?
No, but that's, fine. That's,
So how many did you have that showed up in
We-
total?
we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, about 8, 10 or so, 8 to 10 or 12. So
And this was the Spillman thing that we rented?
no, this was up at the EOC, the former
Okay, what
EOC.
I guess I'm confused.
That's in September 20th.
I
So
hope that our turnout is a little better where that's gonna start.
Yes.
Racking up big money.
yes, that should be 40 to 50. So
I hope so.
So yes,
Send
But I
out
will report
constant
back.
happy face reminders to them.
Yes, definitely. This was the only thing we paid for was a dozen donuts and a box of coffee. So
Okay.
They paid for lunch.
That's still a little pricey.
yes, it was about $35.
But as I say, the one in September is
Yes.
also Spillman, yes?
Yes, yeah. So yeah, that's a user group meeting with Maine, New Hampshire, and Vermont. So that should be a bigger turnout. So yeah. But yes, so we did record that. We're waiting on a quote for it and everything else. I met with the sheriff's office afterwards and Belfast and Stockton Springs and just kind of got a temperature of what they thought of the product afterwards. They all seemed like it was a good product. Obviously, it's a sales pitch and things like that. But they thought it was good. They still wanted to get some more information on it, get a price on it, obviously. And I'll meet with them to see. I want to get some more information to them about, where do you see that it could save time? That time that's saved, would it be, driving back to the office? So that would save time on vehicles, gas on vehicles, wear and tear on vehicles, more time in the field, more time, saving time writing reports, saving time being in the office, driving to the office, that sort of stuff. So,
It's funny, it's kind of like deja vu. I'm sure you two are sitting here thinking, I can remember when we had laptops that we put them in the cruises, because that was gonna save us all kinds of money.
Yep.
Because they weren't gonna have to, go to. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
I'm not being mean,
No,
but I'm
no.
saying, heard this one before,
Yeah,
Jason.
no, and that's fine. And that's just,
But this is the Spillman mobile.
yes.
And again, without having discussion that we could probably have in an executive session, I'm thinking, doesn't another county that we might be working with a little closely, don't they currently have that? And couldn't we utilize that?
No, because we haven't gotten into asking that question specifically. We could get information from them as far as, how they utilize it, that sort of thing. But my understanding is it's licensed on a per server or per county basis. But if you want more information on that, I do have some that we can get into executive session later on.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'd be curious.
Yes, but it does do that. It also allows the deputies to assign themselves to calls, update their call status. It also has a big part of it, which is, and I will be the first to say that I can see both sides of it, officer safety. It has a part called AVL, which is automatic vehicle I don't remember what
Yeah,
the
it's
L
so that
stands
the
for.
dispatch can see where they are.
Where they are live,
like
I
a
think it's,
GPS.
yeah, it's GPS live to see where they are. And that's officer safety, and I totally understand both sides of the argument that you can't put a price on officer safety. And I understand that, but also there is a price to pay for the product. So I'm not trying to put a price on officer safety, but at the same time, you do have to pay a price for the product at the end of the day. So there is that. There is the fact that if they can, the officers can assign themselves to calls, whether they're en route, whether they see a call and say, oh, I can take that call next. That does save on radio traffic and being on the radio to a dispatcher. That would, in theory, save on work that a dispatcher is doing. That, in theory, could save on work a dispatcher is doing and maybe give them more time to answer a 911 call if we're taking additional 911 calls. You know, so again, that's something to think about. But again, that's maybe something saved for a later time to discuss. So it's a lot to take in. And again, I think we've got to sit down and discuss it. But it was a good meeting. It was good definitely to see in person. Again, discussing it with different departments up here. I think it was good for them to see it in person because I've seen it at the summit for the last couple of years. I know Mike's seen it at the summit for the last couple of years, and we would come back and say, hey, this is a really interesting product, but they hadn't seen it in person. You know, they would come back and just hear what we've seen.
Yeah.
And for them to actually see a, you know, an hour and a half, 2 hour demo on it, they, you know, because again, we come back after seeing it and, you know, we only remember so much, and for them to see it, it's like, oh, we didn't realize it could do this X, Y, and Z as well.
Plus, they would probably be zeroing in what their department might.
Exactly. And I would be
You
the,
might miss that.
and I would be the first to admit that I'm not in either dispatches or the deputy's shoes. So
Right.
what I see is not what they would need, you know, sort of thing. And I think there are a lot of little pieces and one that stuck out with me is, and it was really odd to me is, and I'll give you an example, is evidence. When a deputy takes in property, they have to go in and mark down all this property that they take in. Then up at the sheriff's office, a detective has to go in and mark it in as evidence. When they do that, they have to go in and put all that information in again as evidence. There's no like copy and paste. They have to manually put all in that information in again. In this mobile suite, there's literally a checkbox that says mark as evidence. So it saves you all that time of copying and
Which I understand. Yes, it does save time. But in the next breath, I can tell you when I've had detectives bring down cash that was taken off Joe Blow.
Yep.
You know, they stand right there and count it in front of me and I count it in front of them. And then when I take it to the bank, they count it.
Yep.
I mean, that's a checks and balance.
Oh, yes, yeah.
So if Betty arrests somebody and had to keep track of the evidence and she gives it to me, I
Yep.
too should have to document, not just take your word for it.
And again, that again, where I'm not in that workflow, that may be something, but it was just something that I noticed. So again, and it may be something that, yep, we want that to be double checked, triple checked sort of thing. So again, that's just an example I had, but again, where I'm not in that workflow, maybe it makes more sense to do that. So again, so we have that. So yeah, that's pretty much my list of what I've been busy with.
So what have you tasked Ray with doing?
Ray has been out at EMA the past couple of days helping out. They have a whole punch list of things that they're working on. They've got a new TV out there, a sound bar. We're setting up Olga with a monitor stand. The radio room has like, I think 6 or 8 computers that they're trying to get set up to do things, and we're working with them because they've got an old Windows 7 computer that I'm trying to tell them that they can't put on the domain because it's not supported and it's a security issue and things like that. We're trying to consolidate the number of computers that they have and going through and saying, what does this computer do? What does this computer do? Why do you need 2 computers? Can we make that one computer?
So you're keeping him busy.
Yes, we're keeping him busy with the understanding that I know when, you know, the deed space gets up and ready to go, he's going to be working on wiring that up and things like that. And
until then, if you've got new hires, if you can do computer work or stuff.
Yep, exactly. He's been working over at deeds and DAs, getting some things done over there and working on help desk tickets and things like that. So yeah, no, I've been keeping him busy and he's been more than willing to go out to kind of EMA and putting himself out there on the front line and, you know, apologizing for having to, you know, things taking a little bit longer and things like that and all that sort of stuff. So
All set, Jason?
yeah, unless you have any questions for me.
I'm all set.
All right.
No, thank you very much.
I have some questions for you, we can't bring them up at this time.
Yep, no, that's fine. I'll be in the back room when you want me.
Thank you.
I'm just a shout away.
Susan,
Susan's not here.
Susan's not here.
So is that,
Public comment.
Then I have a break, nobody
And there's a break.
public, so we have it on temporary break.
Right, yeah.
Miscellaneous business. I got two or three different things, but probably it all come under executive session. So, did you have anything you wanted?
Well, the only thing is, and I asked you, you weren't interested in the convention,
Yeah,
and you.
like I said, I might drive up for the risk pool meeting
Mhm.
and then
And we
back.
still don't know what time that is, right?
No, we don't.
Yeah, so, I'm thinking of going just to represent, you know, Waldo County. And,
Don't you have surgery the day before?
huh,
Don't you have surgery?
yeah, I'm having surgery the day before.
you mean,
My only thing is like if I don't have a problem, I think that's great, but I mean, if you could go up there and rest and take a day or
Right, I
two.
mean, it's not gonna
Okay.
cost anything, cause I'm not gonna eat.
No, but the room and stuff, but I
Right,
mean,
in the room would be the only thing, you
Oh.
know, so, I don't know when check-in is and when check-out, because I'd have to leave. Friday morning, I have another, conference thing I have to go attend at 8:45 in Freeport. So, you know, I might just go from there
Yeah.
to there, you know, so, that's a busy week. But, you know, I intend not to do any more than I have to, but I'd be there for the meetings.
Yeah.
And, you know, whatever else has to.
seriously, Betty, if it would help you recover,
Huh?
if it helps you recover, I wouldn't have a problem with telling Barb, book you for the weekend and
Right.
just sleep.
So-
Okay.
So, I mean, I talked to the doctor and everything, and they don't feel it's a problem. I don't usually eat. Anyway, I might have some, I think one of the meals is some lasagna. Cheese and lasagna, which I might try. But other than that, I would just have me.
I make a motion that Commissioner Johnson attend the MCCA convention and represent Waldo County.
I second that motion.
All in favor?
So intend the way you want to. You know.
Right, you do it however.
Ask Barbara or Nat or
And-
Susan or somebody.
And if I, you know. need
If
to-
I don't go, yeah,
right,
you can-
attend, I'll probably attend it anyway.
Oh, no,
Just because sometimes I have to be there, when you can't be. And I have a little better idea of what it's all about, you know, so. All
Yep.
the secret stuff.
yeah, right. No, definitely.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So executive session, let's make a motion to, you know, you have some came out to bring out, don't have anything,
No,
okay. Wonderful.
Jesus, feel a little pressure.
So
Um,
10:05.
Who needs to be in our executive session? Just us?
That, then us.
Okay. I make a motion, we go into executive session, Title 1, 405, subsection 6,